Living here in paradise is a wonderful lifestyle choice. Not only beautiful people, wonderful weather, but having a boat project, you're making meaningful, creative decisions every day. The big thing though, of course, is money. Cost of living here is around 10% of what it was costing me in Australia, which now means 90% of my pension I can spend on whatever I like. From here, where I rent this little unit and do quite a deal of work, it's just a convenient walk away and length of a couple of power cords to where the boat is. And I'll show you what it's looking like this morning, because it's looking exceptionally pretty. There's Gemma cleaning up. Hey. And there's Delphin's motorbike. He works for the chap in the catamaran just over past me. But look at this is so pretty. So pretty. And the boat has an orange deck. It's nice shade from the tree a lot, but it does drop a lot of junk on the boat. If you like, you can hire a local workman for around $3 an hour. Even an expert craftsman like Delphin is working hard down there on that boat. Amazingly, the boat is floating with the water level about a foot below the old water line. It's not really a good thing because it's coming off its stands. It's moved sideways a little bit. Luckily I tensioned that rope and another rope at the back just yesterday, which stopped it moving even further. Now that the tide has gone out, we can see what's happened. The boat has moved about 6 inches, and notice anything changed here? The front support on the main hull has been completely washed away. This is where it was. The boat has settled about 6 inches to starboard. Still holding on. This will be all you really need. Same here. It's moved over, but at least it's being supported. The back ones are sort of okay. They didn't move so much there, but it's really put the pressure on, because now I have to get this main hull completed before the next high tide, which fortunately is about 4 weeks off. So I've got 4 weeks till August 19, when I'll be floating again. August 20, the tide will be even higher than what happened here today. So, yep, all this is going to be done in less than 4 weeks. You might be surprised at the decision I've made with regard to the dagger boards. I've decided to move ahead with a sort of original idea. Yes, I have cut the ends off the dagger boards. The ends now will be end plates. Quite a bit of work to be done, and I want it all done before the boat starts floating. The boat has definitely sunken down quite a bit. These I would have thought would have held it up, but apparently not. Now I'm going to have to, look at how close that is to the sand. I'm going to have to now dig a big hole to get under there. Well, a big day today. Started early, dug the hole, As you can see, I've been having a good time underneath my boat, sanded all that area and coated and faired with thick Glumex epoxy, and it's actually come up pretty good. This is the bit of the dagger board that I chopped off, and I'm now going to be using it as an end plate or a foot for when I'm on the beach, and I'm making them all a little bit larger, including the keels. I'll call them keels now instead of dagger boards, and I'm extending this a little bit like that. There are many reasons why I've made this radical decision. I can't possibly lift the heavy boards halfway through a tack by myself. When the pressure is off them, there's no uphaul or downhaul built in. Removing the 3-degree toe in, I now have 2 boards working together. Far better barnacle growth management, and now with end plates I can sit on a beach nice and comfortable like a catamaran. Also, the end plates will eliminate any snap roll and calm the motion of the boat generally, plus eliminate tip loss completely, I would imagine. They're so big. There are other advantages like having a proper NACA 15 profile, but still it was not an easy decision. The keels are smaller but more effective. It's good to get white epoxy primer on because it shows up all the little glitches. Shows up a funny lump here, especially when you sand it right back. It shows up the high points. It's never going to be perfect. There's a funny one right there. I'll fix that. But yeah, it's full of wobbles. In about 3 days' time, I'm going to have about 3 days where the boat is completely dry, and I think I'm going to finish it all within the next week. And the remainder of the time that remains before the boat starts floating, I will be putting in what was dagger boards, turning them into mini keels, which will be at exactly the same height as the main hull. Boards are going in, quite a bit of cleaning up as far as I could reach inside the cases. Firstly, I got the angle grinder to it, then hand sanded, washed with thinners, then a thin coat of epoxy, thinned out with thinners, and then the thicker epoxy, filling up all this bottom area here. And shortly I'll be pouring in straight epoxy from the top. Now the fairing is coming along really well. Gemma came along and completely re-faired the main hull, and it's just about right. It's going to have a few touch-ups tomorrow, then I'll coat it with epoxy, and then I'll put the anti-foul on. Well, this is a change. I've got 2 workers helping me out today. Pouring epoxy down the daggerboard cases. Poured already quite a lot, and you certainly couldn't do that with the West system because it would heat up and could even start a fire. But this stuff is much slower curing, and I've never had any heating problems. For better or for worse, they're on. main hull now anti-fouled and ready to sit on the beach, and that's come up pretty good. And dogs like to sit in the shade under this boat. The keels I am working on building them up to the proper shape, and also getting some fiberglass over the bolt holes underneath. This is the anti-foul that I'm using, and I used up a full 5 kilogram bag on the main hull and still got a bag left over. Using West System, 2 squirts of A, 2 squirts of B, and 45 ml of copper powder and a little bit of thinners to stop the brush from setting. More timber going on here, and the best way for me to see what's going on underneath with the fiberglassing is to video it. Wonder how that looks. It's been about 4 or 5 hours since I glued in that timber and put in fiberglass underneath. It's now set enough for me to sand away all of the loose, dry fiberglass, because in around about 12 hours the tide will be coming in and all this area will be flooded with water, so I've got to get all this covered in epoxy and all the dry fiberglass underneath also fully soaked in epoxy. But it's all good. Not going to see the bottom of this again for a while. Now copper coated, shortly it's going to be right down in the sand. It's not perfect, but it's strong, anti-fouled. The same with the main hull. It's going to be well under the sand soon. And the starboard wing. Going for desperate measures here. Gemma and I yesterday dug out around the supports in a hope that when the tide comes in, that's all going to sink down nice and slowly, giving us more chance of floating the boat. Yesterday it didn't work. Today's August 20th. The next high tide we could possibly get the boat floating is May 29 next year. That's over 9 months away, so we're giving this our best shot. Whoops. Whoops. Well, that didn't go exactly to plan. Damn. The hair-raising crumbling of these drums actually caused no further damage to the boat. Need to pull out those logs next. It's amazing to think that just a few weeks ago I was completely under the main hull relying on these things. It seems it takes only about 8 months of sea water before they're rooted. I've got some nice pieces of bling here with end bits welded on to this stainless tube. That'll be great. They'll go on the very front of the boat holding up the trampoline, and I've got this welded up as well, which was broken from a self-tailing winch. Still playing with these things. I decided to put some fiberglass around the edges here, so another job in fairing, of course. And I'm really pleased with the way this has come up. The hatch is now ready to go in. It used to be the acrylic like this, and you can see when you drill into acrylic, and acrylic expands and contracts a lot. This I'm real pleased with. So there we are at the end of the month. 9 months now, I do believe, and the boat is standing on her own feet and good progress is being made. See you later.